shotgun with Jackson in the backfield. Detroit crowds the line of scrimmage. Here comes the blitz. Bulger unloads down the sideline. Isaac coming back for it. Bulger back, looking, firing, caught. Torrey Holt's got it at the 30. 35-40. Torrey Holt crossing the field. Great back. They bring Wilson the blitz. It's the screen. Stevens got it. Got a big gain. Into Cardinal territory. Sidestep the tackle. Stevens Jackson all the way inside the 30 to the Arizona 29-yard line. On first down, Stevens, great call. 45-40. 35-30. Stevens Jackson cut down on the Denver sideline. Stevens looking at the end zone. Going to fire to Torrey. Got the catch and a touchdown. St. Louis Rams 6-yard connection. Mark Bulger to Torrey Holt on play action.
Very nice, really nice.
Cannot say enough about the special teams effort. 2 touchdowns. Give it up. Where's Farrell Cooper at, man? Broke the streak. Where's Farrell Cooper at? Game ball for Farrell Cooper for the kick. Hey, but you found a way. Defense getting guys off the grass. Love you guys. It sure will make for a more enjoyable week. But we know this. Great division opponent. We got to make sure that we continue to realize this is a business trip. Enjoy it today. Right. We'll come back. We'll clean this game up. We'll be ready to go to London on Thursday, but we got to have a great week of preparation. Absolutely. Divisional game. Now the goal is to get to 5-2. Give it up for the birthday boy, Connor Barwin. Yeah. Get a breakdown, Connor. Get a breakdown, man.
Yeah, bring it up. Here we go. Just the middle right here. Just the middle. Hey, family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Splash day, and this one is underway, and the kick into the end zone being run out by Cooper from 4 yards. And Cooper still on his feet, gets extra yards down the sideline. Pharaoh Cooper trying to outrace the Jaguars, and he will. No flags are down. It did not appear as if he had stepped out of bounds. And Pharaoh Cooper has returned the opening kickoff 103 yards for a touchdown.
Gets the ball. Look how he gets back inside now. Lets his block set up, spins outside. He's down the sideline. Another great block on the edge there to spring him. Pharaoh Cooper all the way for a touchdown. What a way to start for the Rams.
Peyton Thompson was the Jaguar who was chasing him to no avail. And what a spectacular start for the visitors. Leonard Fournette, and Fournette is off. And here is Leonard Fournette, and he'll score. Have you ever seen 2 more spectacular plays to start a football game?
Welcome to another episode of Clash of the Horns, and talking to you guys about this Rams and Jaguars game. It was very exciting. It was a big time game for the Rams because a lot of people really believe that the Rams could not win this game, except for a few, experts, quote unquote. Other than that, all the other people were saying that, the Jags just beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Rams came out with the loss against the Seattle Seahawks. There's no way they're going to beat the Jags. The Jags are on fire. And then the Rams end up beating the Jaguars fairly comfortably. There's a couple of times in the game where I'm thinking, you know what, the Jags are looking good. Blake Bortles is looking good. The Rams started off kind of rough defensively, and then in the end of the game, the Rams come out with a pretty good couple of turnovers, and they win the ball game. So I think they did a fairly good job. I don't even think the experts don't even know what to think anymore. So the quote-unquote experts, because the Rams are winning games. They say one thing, the Rams do another. So I just say keep doing what you're doing. The Rams have a hard time now against the Arizona Cardinals, so it should be very interesting how they match up against the Cards. But with the Jags, they went into this game doing one thing. Fournette's not going to beat us. They're going to force Blake Bortles to, try to beat us, and they couldn't do it. So the Rams did very well defensively, creating turnovers, stopping the run. Even though they did give up that big play, they still ended up being very dominant when it came to the defense side of the ball. The Rams offense had a hard time throwing the football down the field. There's a couple of times where I felt like Jared Goff was very hesitant. They're trying to do, playing it safe offense. I totally understand that, especially trying to win these games. It is a thing where Jared Goff doesn't turn over the ball. The Rams end up winning most of those games. So it's a good thing seeing Sean McVay with the strategy, being the young coach that he is, going into some of these games and controlling the pace of the game and the clock and winning in a very comfortable fashion. The Rams are alarmingly doing bad in the red zone. Luckily, they have Greg the Leg Zuerlein to get those field goals, but you would want those to become touchdowns. So the Rams, so far have really impressed everybody. They're up in the rankings because of this Jaguars game. And I would go in depth into this Jaguars game, but there's so many people that are having pretty good recaps of this game, like Rams Nation. Rams 24/7 is another great YouTube channel. The Anthony Manis Show, Combat Sports. He also has another great show, and they do great recaps. I want to get into a different side of this. I want to talk about the so-called experts that always talk bad about the Rams. They literally cannot do anything right. This is what I saw before this Jags game was the Rams lost to the Seattle Seahawks. Now the Jags are the team that's surprisingly doing very well, even though the Rams are doing really well. And even though the Rams have lost both of those games against the Redskins and the Seattle Seahawks with a touchdown, it's not like they're getting blown out of the water. They're losing by a touchdown. They're saying that the Jags are going to win this game, and I'm starting to see the same thing being said about the Cardinals. They end up being the Buccaneers, and it's like, oh, okay, the Cardinals are on the rise again. Oh, the Rams before this game they're not going to win this game. After they beat the Jags, they're saying, oh, they should have blown the Jaguars out of the water. So it doesn't make sense to me. It's just a bunch of Rams haterade going on in the media. But just a couple of examples that we have to deal with as Rams fans. But let's keep winning, man. Let's keep proving them wrong. They still think it's a Jeff Fisher Rams. This ain't the Jeff Fisher. This is the Sean McVay era / Wade Phillips Rams. And they're doing a very good job. And I say keep doing your thing. I still think Sean McVay is probably going to be given the Best Coach of the Year award, especially if the Rams end up making the playoffs. And I still think they can make the playoffs. At first, I thought this was a 9-7 win team at best. And I'm starting to think now, because they are very good at going down the field and at least scoring some points, I think they're a 10-6 win team at best, and at worst 8-8. I don't think they do worse than 8-8 this year. I don't care how good the Titans look, the Texans look, the Eagles look, the Cardinals, the Niners, whatever. I still think this team is an 8-8 worst team, and at best a 10-6 in my opinion. So that's something that Sean McVay has really done, is made this team and changed the culture, changed the strategy into some of these games. We're not winning games out of luck anymore. We're winning games because we're scoring points, getting in positions to win games, and that's all Sean McVay. So I give Sean McVay the most of the credit how this team is playing. And then obviously, the Wade Phillips defense is starting to get little by little getting better. So this team is a dangerous team, under the radar. I think it's the most under the radar team out there. And I also think the Redskins is another under the radar team. The Vikings are doing surprisingly well with Case Keenum. Who else is another? The Texans are doing fairly well for themselves as well. So the Rams have a lot of competition, especially in the NFC, if they want to make the playoffs. And it's going to be one of those. I think this year is going to be one of those games where it's going to have to be Rams against Seattle in the end of the year to see who goes to the playoffs. So, credit to the Rams. They're doing very good. I would talk more about this Jaguars game, being that there's a lot to talk about, but you guys have probably already heard it. It's end of the week. We're almost playing the Cardinals in about 2 to 3 days. So I'll be making a video about that and recapping or, you know, previewing the game. But with this win against the Jags, I can say nothing else other than keep doing what you're doing on offense, try to get in the red zone, trying to score some of these points, be dominant on defense. I heard Lamarcus Joyner's coming back, so we'll get to see Lamarcus Joyner come back after he got injured in the Redskins game. And being as he's one of our best players in that secondary, plus John Johnson being very good at his position, it's going to be very interesting how the Rams match up against the Cardinals. I still think the Rams can beat the Cards. I think we've done a good job without an offense. So imagine with an offense and now having a defense that's turning over the football. It's not going to be. We're not the Buccaneers. We're going to be better than the Bucs, and we got to beat these teams if we want to make a playoff run. So, you know, the Rams are doing fairly well. Keep up the good work. Other than that, you guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. And